Hi FlossTube friends, I'm Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher on Instagram, here on YouTube, and also have a shop, coloradocrossstitcher.com, here in Loveland, Colorado. So welcome back to my channel today. This is my channel about my own personal cross stitching, and today I'm actually going to do a shop tour at the end of the video, but first I have stuff to show you and my 3 things and the drawing and all of that stuff. So I know it's been a hot minute since I have been on FlossTube, and I apologize for that. You know, February and March are always such tough months just because of all the stuff going on with market. And then the month of March, I haven't even been in town except for the week after market to pack all of the market orders with all of our team. So it's been a little crazy. I figured out, I think I have stitched 4 days total in March, and what is today, like the 20th or the 21st? So that is very unusual for me. I'm usually working on stuff a lot more than that. But anyway, let's go to my calendar. I last FlossTube the first weekend in February, so here's my February, which I haven't even gone back and filled that in with some stickers and other fun things. And then here's my March. And I have been gone most of March. So I went to St. Louis, we drove to market, we went to St. Louis on the way, then we went to market, then like I said, we came home and packed like crazy people, you know, all hours of the day. And then I went to Las Vegas this past week, just for a couple days, saw Donnie's show, Donnie Osmond, which was fabulous. And I don't know, I just started seeing little snippets of it on Instagram or Facebook or something. And I thought, gosh, that looks really fun. And of course, all of the songs from my childhood. So anyway, I went, and his show has won like best headliner, best show, best singer, best production in all of Vegas for 2 or 3 years. So it was a fabulous show. Now I want to go back again. So I'm going to need somebody to give me an excuse to go to Vegas again so I can justify seeing that show. Because you know how sometimes you'll see a movie or an exhibit or a collection or a show or a concert and you think, oh, that was so good, I need to see that again. That's how I'm feeling about that. So I did put those stickers in because, you know, that was pretty fun. But I am back in town, and I think that I can stitch now for the next several weeks anyway, alongside working. So let's talk about all the things. Now I have 2 projects that I got progress on. One of them is a project that I've been talking to you about starting forever, and I finally started that. Had a hard time putting that away. You know, sometimes I wish that I could just stitch on the one thing till I get it done, and that's definitely what this project was like. But that would be boring for you. I wouldn't have anything to FlossTube about. Then I have 3 things that I got back from the framer, and then I have new things from Birds of a Feather, and I have my 3 things to tell you about and the drawing. So let's jump in. Okay, first of all, this is one that I started, gosh, probably 2 or 3 years ago now. And May is sampler, what is May? May is sampler month, or no. Mania, Stitch Mania, that's what it is, Stitch Mania, where sometimes people will stitch or start 25 new things for 2025 in the month of May, or they will work on 25 whips in the month of May, or different things. And so a couple years ago, I decided to take each week in May and work on or start 1 new sampler. And so this was one of those, and I really haven't gone back to it since then, and I really want it hanging on my wall. So I still love Carol Saltbox Stitcher's idea of having a Sunday school wall somewhere in the house, and this would go on that wall. So this is The Fall by Barbara Anna. And it's a lot of words. I just have to be okay with that because I also have Peaceful Paradise that I want to do, which I should have gotten that out to show you. That's a lot of words too. So I don't usually mind words, but it's sometimes more fun to be doing other stuff. So what I had done before this was most of the words on this side, plus the angels and the cloud. So I finished the words, I did the house, I did under the house, I did the 2 berry trees next to the house. So that was my progress on that one. And I really like the grass under there because you've got little yellow tulips blooming in there. Not animals, a lot of grasses below houses have animals. I thought this was cool because it had the tulips. But I have a long way to go. What is this fabric? Well, it's 40 count because that's mostly what I stitch on unless I'm doing special things. Let's see if I have it written in my book. By the way, thank you guys for your advice about the progressive readers that I talked about last time. And I think that I have been convinced, I know that I've been convinced, I just have to find the time, to just go to an optometrist and get it specially designed for where my eyesight and my eye line hits. Because as I said before, I need my glasses for close-up. So if I'm looking something up for you guys, I need the glasses. But then if I'm looking at the camera, if I have my glasses on, it's blurry and I know it's annoying to take them on and off. So just don't watch when I put them on and off. Okay, the fall is on 40 count Weeks Dye Works Gray. So, used to be called Confederate Gray, now it's gray. So that is this one. And then I started a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger. And I know I talked about that forever because I was trying to find the right green fabric and nothing was appealing to me or going as well with the colors that I wanted, that I was using for the rest of the piece. And several of you told me about Carrie at Roxy Floss Co. who dyed a fabric called Pub Crawl in the exact color. And first I'm going to show you the back side and how spot on she was with this color. So this is the, well, first let's show you the pattern. Okay, here's the pattern. And this is by Scarlet Letter. Here's a close-up of some of those on the back. That peacock, I mean, isn't that the coolest? And the water down below, I'm so looking forward to doing that. Just a lot of cool things. So I tried several different fabrics and you guys have been along for part of that process because I kept asking your opinion and you give me good opinions and then I wouldn't take your opinion for whatever reason. Anyway, look how perfectly this fabric matches what that background color is supposed to be. That background color is 936. Anyway, so this is the color of Pub Crawl. I think that's pretty, that looks terrible with my green shirt. I should have thought that through. Anyway, here is my start and the progress that I made on that. And I had so much fun working on it that I truly did not want to put it away. What I like about it, excuse me, is it is a lot of fill-in, and I like fill-in because to me, once you do the outline, then you can just kind of zone out. And usually I'm watching TV or listening to a book on tape or watching FlossTube, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to look at the pattern. So I really do like fill-in. And for a while I contemplated stitching this and stitching the fill-in, which is what the pattern calls for. The pattern calls for you to stitch it and then to go ahead and stitch in that green in the background. And for half a second, I thought about doing that because I do enjoy just the calmness of it. And it reminds me of needlepointing a little bit where you just kind of fill and work. And then I came to my senses and realized there are way too many patterns that I want to stitch. I do not need to spend time filling in that huge thing. So again, I got the peacock and the pear and some strawberries, and it was super fun. And I'm doing this on 36 count because I thought it'd give my eyes a little bit of a break because it's darker fabric, and I'm pretty sure I'm only using one thread. Yeah, I'm using one thread. I think my eyes like 36 count best, but I don't generally like the coverage of one strand of floss on 36 count over 2 stitches. So that's why I usually default to 40 count. I also like the size of 40 count that it ends up being too, but anyways, I decided to go 36 with this since it was darker, and since it was hand dyed, I knew that it would be probably a little tighter than 36 count. Usually when you have hand dyed fabrics, because they've been through the wash after the dyeing process, a lot of times it's actually tighter than the 36 count. So I counted it and it was 38 count. And so then I felt fine about doing the one strand, and I think it looks fine. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'll hold it up. Let's see if it'll focus if I hold it up really close. Do you think that coverage is okay? I think it works. I think it's fine. So those were the 2 main things that I worked on basically in the month of February, because like I said, March has been a blur and I've been out of town or at market or packing market orders and not doing stitching much at all. I did start one of the May Birds of a Feather patterns earlier this week, and so I've been working on that, but I can't show you that yet. All right, let's go to my framed pieces that I got back from the framer, and I use Sydney at Hephaestus Frames, and she comes into our shop every Saturday, she and Cheryl, and they're wonderful. She's an incredible framer, and she does take mail-in things, so if you want to mail her your pieces, she will be happy to help you with that. I put her link in my notes below. So the first one I did, and this was my January Blessing sampler. So a lot of people do a little sampler in January or start a sampler in January. And so this is one that I had kitted up that I've always wanted to do. This is by Leela's Studio, and it's SL 1862 small sampler. She also has a full-size sampler by a similar name, still called SL 1862, but not small sampler. And I think this is the part at the bottom of that sampler. So there's more that goes on up here if you like the look of this. So I don't I don't usually get colored frames, but this color just seemed to work perfectly for it. So here's my frame piece. What do you think? And what did I do this on? I did this on 40 count. You can look it up while you're looking at the piece. Let's see. 40 count weeks linen. Okay, so it's the color linen from Weeks. That's a little confusing. It's Weeks linen in the color linen, and it's one of my favorite colors because I just love the soft white of it. So that was a fun one to do, and sorry, okay, that's gonna be annoying, but let me get a drink quick. So I put my initials and 2025 on there. I really like that colorful butterfly up in the corner. Isn't that kind of cool? So I was trying to figure out a blessing sampler to do, and I was going through some of my kitted up projects, and this has been in there for probably a year and a half, so I'm glad I got to do that one. And then my next one that I got back from the framer was With Thy Hands from Teresa Kogut. And I'm gonna hold this up because I want you to look at the border on that piece. Each side, I think, is different, or they're two sides the same, two different. Anyway, I decided I didn't want to put that border on. I didn't think the piece needed that border. So having said that, now I'll show you my little piece. So here's my framed piece, and I did it in black because I like how that emphasized the heart and hands that are black with red. This is one of my favorite frames because I love the little beading piece here that I think adds a little bit of texture to it. Somebody asked me to maybe talk more about why I pick a certain frame, because in my last FlossTube, I talked to you guys and showed some examples of telling more of the story with your frame. So I do that as often as I can because I just think that adds to the piece. But sometimes I pick my frame based on how it will highlight the color or if it brings something out. If there's not necessarily something sentimental or something, more of a story in the sampler, then I don't worry so much about telling more of the story in the frame because there's not that much of a story. But like with these two pieces especially, I went with frames that I thought really brought out different parts and colors of the actual piece. So that was my reasoning for that. And then I got another big piece back, and I'm gonna look up and see what the fabric is. I know that it's needle and flax. I think it's hawthorn. Let's see. So I keep this in my book of days, my whips, so that I can look up and see Steinbeck needle and flax. Okay, so that I can look and see what I'm using. So this one is the one I did for my grandma, which I showed you the finish, but not the framed piece. So here it is framed. This is Martha Evans by the Scarlet House, which I loved from the very first beginning when I first saw this piece. And I put my, let's see, I have the pattern to show you. And then, so here's the pattern with Martha's name and information in the cartouche. And I used the called for NPIs, all the same colors that were called for, but then I put my grandma's information in there. And I love how it turned out. Love having this done for her. I shared the last time that my grandma was a very creative person. She was also a German, she came from Germany, and so she was pretty no nonsense. You know, they had a tough life, and she came over to the States when she was in, I think, 25 or 26, and she and my grandpa worked very, very hard for to make a living and to learn the English language. And so I think sometimes it was maybe harder for her to show her creative side, but she loved to paint things, furniture, and even, you know, her house or whatever. And she loved to make things, and she was a knitter. And so anyway, the colorfulness of this sampler is one of the reasons I wanted to do this for her. Now, I want to address making mistakes in your sampler, because when I showed this, my mom watched the video and she said, "Oh, it's beautiful. Your grandma would be so happy to see that. She would love it." It is, the year of her death is off by a year, but I don't think it makes that much difference. Well, it does make a difference to me. And I was glad that she told me, and that made me think about, do you remember, it must have been my January FlossTube, when I showed you the picture of with thy needle and thread, little piece in the gold frame, and the cardinal didn't have his legs stitched in. And it was all framed, and I asked you guys, what should I do? And probably 95% of you said, just leave it. It's like he's taken off in flight, and don't worry about it. Well, I can't leave it. It'll bug me every time. And I put too much energy and time and money into that little tiny frame that was so adorable that I want to do it right. So I'm going to fix that. But some of you also said, I can't believe somebody would make a comment and tell you there's a mistake in your piece. And I just wanted to, for the record, say that the dear person who left that comment left the comment before my piece was framed, right? So I had shown it on a FlossTube maybe in December, I don't remember. And so it wasn't framed. It would have been easy to fix, but by the time I got her comment, I had it framed. So it was too late to fix it prior to framing. But I always want to know, like, so I'm just giving y'all permission in the comments if you ever see that I've missed something in a piece, especially if it's not framed. Probably too if it's framed, but I'd rather know before it's framed. Tell me about it, because one time I was showing my Smith sampler that I had finished, and I love that sampler. And somebody said, oh, it looks like you missed a section of a tree. And sure enough, a whole section of that tree was missing. So I went in and filled it in. It would have bugged me forever to have had it framed that way. So I am a kind of person that I would like to know if there's a mistake, and I don't think that's rude of you to tell me that. I always assume people are wanting to be helpful, and they're the kind of people like me who would want to know also. So thank you for telling me that the date was off, Mom, and also thank you to the gal who told me that the cardinal was missing his feet, and to the gal who told me that I was missing something on the Smith sampler, because I do want to go back and fix those things. All right, just to clear that up. All right, so next, let's talk about new birds of a feather patterns. Now, you know, just to reiterate, we bought the rights to reproduce the birds of a feather patterns, which I have been in love with for, you know, the last 5 years. So I'm thrilled to be able to do that. It is taking a lot of my stitching time every month, but that's totally cool because I love all the patterns that they have that we're coming back out with. And where was I going with that whole thing? I had a whole thought process there. Recharting. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, so we try to come out with 2 to 4 patterns a month. It's usually 3, sometimes 2, once in a while 4. So one thing that I'm doing is doing all of the birthday cats. So they have these French birthday cats, just meaning like, instead of January, it's the janvier cat, and so on. So that's why the spelling is a little different. So there's one for each month. We started in December, and I'll show you the little December guy. I made mine into pillows. I also stitched mine on 40 count. We have kits for, well, we always come out with kits when we introduce it for the month. I have not gone ahead and restocked the kits yet because it's all I can do to keep up with the kits that we're coming out with. We do plan to restock the kits as soon as we can. But I kit it in 36 count because most people are more comfortable stitching on 36, and it makes it a little bit bigger. So here was the 40 count December birthday cat, which I love this one. So cute with the snowflakes and the little tree and a little gold bell, right? Or no, star. Okay. And then here was January, ice skating cat, janvier. And I thought she was cute with her little ice skates and her things. And then I love this February cat too, because she's got a bouquet of flowers and a little heart. I'm calling it her heart purse because her dress has hearts on it. She's got cute little red shoes on, a little red hat. So this was February. These are just nice too. If you have a dough bowl of smalls for each month, I know a lot of us have it maybe for the season, maybe not for the month, but it is kind of fun if you have monthly things that you can swap out for it, just to put in the middle of the table, or if you have a little shelf or a little cabinet like I have behind me, just to swap out. It's fun to have different things each month. So here is the Mars little guy, and he has a 3-leaf clover and an Italian flag, and I love his little belt, and I love that he's an orange cat, yellow orange cat. So that's the new one. So February and March are the 2 ones that I hadn't showed you yet, and I like both of them. And I've stitched up April, and April's adorable too. April is a checkered slicker with little rain boots and I think it was a purple umbrella. I don't know, I stitched that a month ago, so I gotta go check it out, but that's coming out in April. So here are This is the February cat. Well, there's double layers of shine here. I should have done this ahead of time, sorry. So here's the pattern for February. And as I've said before, one of the things that we're doing, because that wasn't really the technology back when these were originally done, is we're printing them larger so they're easier to see, and we're printing them in color. Now on these cats, let me show you the March one as an example. When they did these cats, they did them with a name and a date, month and date. Well, I don't know why this one says December, because it's the March one. Anyway, so this is what it looked like. This is the original one that they did. So they had Molly up here, and on Molly's in the original pattern it says 8 of Mars for March. Then they stitched it like this, I don't know why. So I'm leaving it off when I'm stitching my version of it, but it is charted with the words. So for example, this one, let's see if I can just show that without too much. Okay, this one shows Brittany and at the top, and it shows February at the bottom. So it's charted as the original was charted. I'm just choosing to stitch mine without the words and the names, if that makes sense. So that is the, and a lot of the fabrics they used were their own fabrics. Birds of a Feather used to have a fabric dyeing company, wing or whatever of their business as well. And they had a needlepoint wing, that's not the right word, version, you know what I mean. So Danielle owns the needlepoint section of the business. So if you are a needlepoint store and you want the needlepoint versions of some of the Birds of a Feather things, you can look on the original Birds of a Feather website, which Danielle runs. I think that is Birds of a Feather Flock Together, or maybe just Flock Together. Anyways, you can contact Danielle for needlepoint canvases. So, and then I have taken the cross stitch version of that, of their company. Okay, so that's one from February. And then, so in February we only had 2. Because I had planned to do Valentine holiday, which we did in January, in February, then realized it'd be better in January before the Valentine holiday. So look at these gorgeous, gorgeous colors in this one. I love this one. This is called Peace. And here it is. And it says, peace be to this house and to all that dwell in it. And there is a space to put your initials or whoever's initials you want. I love the house and the brick wall and the little pretty gates. But there's something that I want to tell you about this piece. I don't know if this was a thing at the time, but there's some Birds of a Feather patterns that have, in the charting and in the stitching of it, different pieces missing. Where did I put this piece? I don't think I had this one to show you. I hung it up at the shop. Paul went in to get them at the shop. I think he forgot to bring that one home. Unless it's in, no, I think he forgot to bring that one home. Dang it. All right. Anyway, you can see it from here. If I can get an inserted picture, I'll insert it here. But sorry about that. Anyways, as I was saying, when they charted and stitched it, sometimes they would leave out stitches in different parts. Like down here on the bottom of the brick wall, there's a couple stitches missing. Or on the side of the house, or in some of the windows, there's some stitches missing. Well, that was intentional. It was intentional from the designer. And so I've left it in. I've charted it just like she charted it. And so you can obviously fill that in. For me, I'd have to fill it in. but you don't have to. You can stitch it as she charted it and made it look a little, I guess that's to make it a little more primitive looking. I don't think you can see on this necessarily what I'm talking about, but when you come to those things in the chart, just know obviously you can fill that in if you want to. And I put a little addendum on the back of the page just to say those are intentional, because I didn't want somebody to think, wow, she missed all kinds of stitches in there. All right, here's an example that I can show you. So, for example, this star, you see where those stitches are missing? Some are missing up here, some are missing right in there. And again, intentional by the designer, so I kept it as it is. I'm just telling you ahead of time. Feel free to just stitch those right in there if you want to. But I just love the colors of that piece sampler. So pretty. All right. I know I don't have that here. All right, next is, I showed you the March one. No, I didn't show you the March colors. Also beautiful colors. So here's the March pattern. Look at these pretty colors. So of course you can buy the pattern, just the pattern, or you can buy it kitted up, totally up to you. And then also for March, we came out with 2 other ones. I do have those here. So this is the Schoolgirls Wish Sampler. And this was the original one that Birds of a Feather stitched way back in the day. And what I think is so pretty about this, well, first of all, that heart in the middle has a lot going on. It's checkerboard, it's got flowers. The actual letters themselves, part of it is checkerboard, which I think is really cool. And then around the edge, it says, if all mankind would live in love, this world would much resemble that above. And which is a lovely sentiment. If you don't like the sentiment, you could easily leave that off. And I love the 2 blackbirds at the bottom, but I'm gonna hold that heart closer because so you can see some of the detail in that and also the detail in the letters themselves. Very cool. And it's got some pretty colors. So here's the pattern. Here are the colors. And that's on corn silk. So I was saying, they had a dyeing company, and so we are trying to match the colors as closely as we can, or if I'm changing the color, I'm running that by Megan, getting Megan, who is one of the 3 designers from the original company, just getting her permission to do that. Like the Santa Claus that I stitched for December, they had it on a dark brown fabric. I thought it would be really cool on a green fabric. So that's a case where I said, hey, what do you think if I did this? And she was all for it. So that's kind of how we're doing the fabrics. I have a lot of the time gone with weeks fabrics just because we can get the amount needed in a quick turnaround time, and because they've matched so perfectly so far. Just an FYI, we never get the old weeks fabrics. It's always the Zweigart weeks. We only carry the Zweigart in our shop. So just for those of you who think I don't like weeks fabrics, it's the older kind that most people say they're not as big of a fan of because it was more loosely woven. And I totally agree with that. I do not like that older one. Okay, this is probably my favorite one that we put out this month because there's so much going on. And so here are the colors in the kit. It's called Holiday Seasons, and there are 4 different patterns in this. Let me take it out of here. And what I love about it is there's so many cool motifs that you're just gonna wanna do. I know it. I don't ever intend to be a very salesy person. I don't like being sold to. I don't wanna sell to you guys. So I'm never going to say you got to buy this, because, you know, you can decide if you want it or not, but you got to buy this one because look at all those fun motifs. Now I'm going to show each of you. So it's one pattern per season. And so let's look at them. I don't know. Let's start with winter. So this one has Christmas, Valentine's, New Year's. Yeah, those three things. But I want you to look at, when I hold this up, and these are the originals from Birds of a Feather. I did not stitch this. This little Santa would be adorable as a gift tag for your Christmas. The little angel in there is just precious. She would be adorable. The little snowman would make an adorable little tiny pillow or a little tiny tuck-in. So look at all the things going on in there that even if you didn't want to stitch this as a whole, you could pull those parts out and do something fun with them. Or, you know, you could just do this, like these four, and well, not the 14th. You could make that the 25th and do a little Christmas pillow, or you could do a little winter, the trio here as a winter, or you could do this little thing as a little tiny pillow. I just think there's so much you could do with these patterns. I love them. All right, so that is winter. Let's do spring. Spring has spring showers, Easter, April Fool's Day, St. Patrick's Day. This little leprechaun is adorable. The bunny holding a carrot, I love. And then there's a little bird feeding her babies in the nest. Again, so cute. Look at all those fun motifs. I mean, talk about putting a lot into a pattern. So if you decorate quarterly at your house or want to decorate quarterly, you know, put one of these up. You could even, now these are all four obviously framed separately, but you could get one frame and then just pop in and out the quarterly, the one that matches the quarter. So anyway, so cute. That little bunny would be cute to tuck into a little stocking, make a little pillow. And the leprechaun is holding a 4-leaf clover, so if you want to wish somebody luck, good luck, that would be cute to do. Adorable. Summertime, another one of my favorites because it has a girl laying out sunbathing on a towel. It has a cute patriotic soldier, a sailboat, a crab. It has 4th of July, bon voyage, barbecue, picnic, summertime, a little flag, watermelon, bumblebee. So cute. Again, taking each one of those motifs, it's like a treasury of little holiday motifs, this pattern. I just think they're so adorable. I'm going to tell you how they displayed them in a second. The last one is the fall one, which has trick or treat, boo, Halloween, back to school, Thanksgiving. The sweetest little pair of pilgrims, couple, and turkey right next to them. I think I would do that whole line as just a little narrow pillow. Then a cute scaredy cat. I'm telling you, they have some of the cutest holiday themed patterns because we've already seen some of the adorable Christmas ones. They have some really cool Halloween ones that will be coming out with this year too. But anyway, here's the fall one up close. Isn't that cute? And you know, can't you just see doing a little pillow of that row there? And also, I might stitch up that pumpkin and put that cat right on top of the pumpkin. It's cute. So when I got these samples, they had them all together about this far apart, all four in a long lineup, attached by gingham ribbon in the back, so that they could hang the whole, all set of four of them on the wall with a gingham bow at the top and then gingham connecting all four of them, you know, together here. And it was really cute. We had to take that apart so we could film it, photograph it better for you guys, but I thought that was a cute idea if you wanted to display the whole thing. And of course, there are a lot of really pretty colors in that palette. not as many as you'd think. They did a good job of reusing the colors, so they do all go together pretty well in the patterns and the sets. Okay, that's all of that. Now I'm going to tell you about my 3 things, then we're going to do the drawing, then I'm going to stop the tape and drive over to the shop, and we're going to walk through the shop. I haven't done a shop tour since we first moved into that space, which is 2 years ago. A lot has changed since then. I'm pretty sure I haven't done a shop tour since then. I think I only did the one there. And we have all of the market stuff laid out on the table, so it's just a fun time. It'll be a fun time to kind of go through it. And I always feel like, because I did shop tours a couple times in our last spot where we had our shop, and I always feel like I'm shopping with you guys because I'm walking along talking about the patterns, and it just feels like we're shopping together, which is fun. So, but let's move on to my 3 things. Okay. First of all, I've had people ask how I store my kits, how I store my fabrics. Well, in my fabrics, I bought an old dresser. I'm looking at it. It's across the hall in my little office. An old dresser, and I keep my fabrics in the drawers. But you could also use, and I'm pretty sure this was somebody's suggestion one time on one of my comments. I got this packet of, what are they called? Hanging storage bags. And, well, that's a little wrinkled up. Anyway, this is what it looks like. It has a hanger on the top, and you could use these for hanging your fabrics, although I know some of you don't like to keep them in plastic, and I get that. I do, but anyway. Or you could kit up your projects in these if you don't want to get a bunch of different kit bags. So it has a snap, and then certainly plenty of room for your full-size pattern. And Barbara Anna's a little larger than 8.5 by 11. And fabrics and flosses. And then if you have an extra closet or a bedroom that has an extra closet that nobody's using, these would hang really well all along that rod in your closet. Good way to keep them organized. They're clear, so you can flip through them easily and see what you want. If I was doing it, I would probably organize them either by holiday or, I was gonna say fabric size, but I probably wouldn't because most are the same. I'd probably organize them by holiday and maybe a section of samplers or whatever. Anyway, these come in a whole bag. I got them on Amazon, and I linked to that in the notes below. All of the notes below, all you have to do is go to the description under the video, and there's a little sentence that says, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about, and then it's a little thing that says more. So you click more, and it drops down a little bit, and you click more again, and it drops down all the way. And there's links in there. And if you're watching on your TV, you can come back and look at that quick on your phone or whatever if you want the links. So that is one way to organize your kits. I organize my kits, and I'll also include the link to that below, in bog bags. Oh, and they're heavy when you fill them. So these are heavy duty plastic. The reason I organize them in these is because I get these free when I order all of the packaging material that we have to order. And then, you know, if you spend, I don't know, $1,500 on that, you can pick a free whatever. And this is an option. So I've got 4 of these now, and it holds a lot of project bags. So I love these because they've got holes in them, so they're aerated well. I think they were originally made as beach bags because you can just hose them off, so that's cool. And I think Hobby Lobby, I think I showed you a kind of a similar kind of a plastic bin like this that Hobby Lobby has, because these can be pricey. I don't know why. They're heavy duty, I guess. But anyway, that's how I carry mine. However, we also have And I'm going to tell you this, but probably they'll sell out fast again because they sold out quickly the first time I had them in. My favorite beautiful bags that I used to carry in my yarn shop when I had the Loopy U were Attenti overnight bags, and they're like a tapestry. They're beautifully made. I got just, I don't know, 8 or 10 in initially because I thought, well, I don't even know if the stitchers will like these, but I love these bags. And they sold out. Like the minute I sent the newsletter out, they were out. So I immediately ordered more, and we've just put them up again. And so if you were watching this a week later or something and they're not there, I'll get more again. I don't want to make the order too much or it'll take them too long to get it to us, but we do have quite a lot more this time. Anyway, here's the size of those bags. You just need to kind of fluff them up, but so this is the size of them. And what I love about these is, and I had the same thing with my knitting. I had different knitting projects in bags, and I wanted to keep them by my knitting chair, which is now my stitching chair, but I didn't want the mess of all those bags hanging around. Well, this is a beautiful way to keep your things close to you, and you can put a lot of different projects in here, and then you've got one beautiful bag next to your chair instead of, you know, falling over bags like I used to have. But I want to show you the inside because it's just so well made. They're made in the USA. There's a zipper. There's a zipper pocket, and there's a double pocket over here to, you know, put whatever. And all of the seams, of course, are finished inside and out. And anyway, just really a beautiful, beautiful bag. And here's the other one that I brought in. I don't know, we have maybe 10 different varieties, multiples of them, but here's another one of them. Again, just really well made, and I have worked with the company for probably 15 or more years. So I can highly recommend those. So that all is, was that just number one of my 3 things? Is how to kit things up and how to store and organize your kits. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, so because I've traveled so much this month, I had to get books to read, and I usually read on my Kindle, but if I know it's a book that I'm going to want to underline and refer back to, I buy it in book copy. So I just discovered these 2 books by Mel Robbins. Apparently she has a podcast. I've never listened to her podcast. But I started with the book, Let Them. Okay. And this is 2 simple words that will change how you think about your entire life. That's a pretty big statement. It's basically, if people want to do something that bothers you, let them do it. And you think, well, how do you write a whole book about that then? Well, I'm telling you what, there are a lot of facets of it that help you incorporate that kind of mentality where you just let people be who they're going to be. You don't get upset about it. You just let it go. It lowers your stress and anxiety in the way you react to people. And then she talks about let me. So let them do that. Let me take responsibility for how I'm going to react or what I'm going to do instead, or the path that I'm going to go on. And it's just a really, really good book. I've really enjoyed it. And because I was enjoying that, she refers to, and I think this was her first book, called The 5-Second Rule. She's got TED Talks too. And the 5-second rule is basically you count backwards from 5, and when you get to 1, you move forward in what you were supposed to do. And so the first example she uses is like when she's sleeping and her alarm goes off and she wants to hit the snooze button. And she talks about the Scientology of why that's bad for your brain and your body and all of that. But she says, as soon as my alarm goes off, I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. And she said what it does is counting backwards disrupts your brain. And, you know, usually you don't want to do something because you feel like, I don't feel like getting up this morning. I'm tired. I'm going to hit the snooze because I don't feel like going through my day yet. And she says counting backwards will stop your brain from, you know, concentrating on feelings and will let you concentrate on action. Again, how do you write a whole book about the 5-second rule? But I'll be darned. There's so many different facets of it that she explains that just helps you to understand it more and put it more into practice. So this is her latest one. This is the other one. These are the two that I've read this month, and I do recommend them. So I have links to those below. And then my third thing is something that you guys ask about. I feel like I have a cat hair on my nose. Probably from Oliver. He has stuck to me like glue the last 2 days because I've been gone too many hours for his preference. So he sleeps on me all night. He's been on my lap all day if I'm home stitching, which I have been for the last day. And so he's a funny boy. Anyway, I usually have, and I do have one of these, so that bird back there, although I think I put the spool in front of it. Last month I had this one back there, and anytime I have one of these pictures, somebody asks me, what is that? Asks me in the comments, what is that pattern? And they're not patterns, they're primitive prints. I'll hold it up a little closer so maybe you can see the painted. And these are from a seller, I will link below, Early Things 1776 on Etsy. And I ordered a bunch of her stuff because to me, this is just easy. She has a lot of different holiday ones, and it's just easy to pop in the background on my FlossTube, or pop one on the kitchen counter or in the entryway. So I'm just going to show you real quick some of the ones that I've gotten from her. I usually get the 8x10 size. I do have some of the smaller size, which I'll also show you. But they're just really fun, really. And I love kind of more the primitive look, so I love these. These are a lot of different purchases over a few years. Here's my latest. Be Thankful. Love that. I mean, I would love to cross stitch that, but you know, it's somebody else's design. This one I love. And then here's the 5x7 size, which is also a good size. And I've got a few of those. These are more ones that I like prop up on my kitchen counter in the season. I love these guys. So that's Early Things 1776 on Etsy. Link below. All right, the last thing I want to do is do the giveaway from last time where you had to use the word happy. This is a project bag from Maud and Jane, and I said I'll probably go in and add something else to go with the project bag, which I did, and bought a few more things my own self. So this is just a little zippered pouch for like your scissors and your little seam ripper and your needle mine, whatever, all the different little things. But this is the beautiful little bag. And I talked about how I love this size. This is her medium size. She has, I'm sure she has larger bags and probably smaller bags. I love this size because it fits in that tote that I showed you the last time. And that just allows me to have extra pockets in that tote to make it even more usable for what I'm using it for. And it's perfect for the smaller 5x7 patterns. You know, it wouldn't fit, well, I mean, almost, I guess it does. Almost fits the big one. But ideal for the smaller patterns, like with the needle patterns, Plum Street patterns, those kinds of things. So all that to say, the winner of that is Elizabeth Coleman, 5437. 5437. So Elizabeth, if that's you, my email address is listed below. Please email me and I will get this little set out to you. All right, and then Joyful Stitching Store sent me more to give away to you guys, and this one is adorable. So if you, oh, I was thinking that was dogs. That's cat, because it says I meow. Oh, that's adorable. Okay, look. Cats, little fish, little paw prints. And then she adds a little accessory pouch in there, a couple of things of floss. So let's see. The keyword to use this time is pet. So then you can tell me about your pet. If you have a pet cat or a pet dog or a pet iguana or a pet goldfish, or you like to pet cats or dogs, however you want to use the word pet, if you would like to be entered to win this project bag. And thank you to Joyful Stitching Store on Etsy for donating that. All right, I think that is everything that I wanted to show you on this end. I'm gonna stop the tape and I'm gonna run over. You know what, when I go over to the shop and do the shop tour, I'll show you that sample of the piece sampler that I didn't have to show you today. That'll be a good way to do it. So hold tight. I know it'll be like 2 seconds for you, but it's gonna be like 10 minutes for me. So we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, back at the shop, and I'm taking the door and show you around. So this is kind of a new rack that we put up that has our kits. Have you guys looked at these Avlia? Oh, look how beautiful that is. Anyways, these kits, I think it's European linens and all of the threads. Anyway, kits up here. So we have our Birds of a Feather kits, Birds of a Feather patterns, and the Corinne LaPierre kits, coffee, tea. Bonnie stitched this one from Heartstring Samplery. First I drink the coffee, then I do the things. And then we've got this little cabinet. Of course, you've seen this. This was what I stitched before we moved in this place. I stitched it on pegboard with yarn. And it's like 4 strands of yarn. I don't recommend doing it. I had to start and stop so many with, you know, lengths that weren't very long because they get shreddy going through that pegboard. Anyway, okay, on to things. So here are some of the frames for Saturdays. These are just our new March kits. This is our flower cart where we usually have our latest and greatest. Right now it's holding some of the extra fun little kits and accessories and doodads I brought back from market, along with, of course, the stitching buddies and the bigger ones. I wish one of you guys would buy this adorable dog by Junkyard Bots because I love him and I don't need him. Here's our little cabinet that's now overflowing with smalls. Okay, this is the Santa that I was telling you about where I changed the background color to green instead of brown. Also, you can see some of the missing stitches that were specifically designed, missing a stitch here, by the designer, like I talked about. I think you guys have seen all of these, but I guess I'll try and go a little slower. Looks like I need to tidy them up a little bit. I didn't come over here and tidy up before I started filming. It's usually pretty tidy here. These are the Christmas angel ornaments from Birds of a Feather. I love these little pretty little angels, which I love the words, but it would also be cool to put names. More Birds of a Feather stuff. That's my Nativity and my Sally Spencer. That's the original Birds of a Feather. No, that's Happy Hearts. Original Birds of a Feather Sally Spencer. Original Birds of a Feather Red Reindeer. Okay, here's Maxwell. You know how we love our Maxwell, our shop mascot. All right, and then I turned the light on in the bathroom, which is a weird thing to show you, but I have been having fun putting all the vintage samplers up here that I've gotten. And I put a little video on Instagram, so you may have seen it there. I probably have added a few since then. Let's see if I can get the glare off. But I just love that these beautiful stitched pieces from these women or men so long ago are now having a new life where stitchers can appreciate them. I have plenty more space to fill in, so keep an eye out for those. This Home Sweet Home is my favorite. It was a little crooked. Straighten up there. I also love those two little houses. They came as a set. And this I thought was fun. And then this pretty one. It's a little wonkety in the frame, but so many pretty colors. So that's our bathroom. Be sure to visit when you come. This is our checkout counter, also where we wrap all of your, all of your orders. That rack is where we pull all of the orders in the morning. Looks like they started pulling for tomorrow morning, and we wrap from there. All right. Then we have stickers. It's time to take Let It Snow and the snowman off of our display. Although I will say March and April are our snowiest months here in Colorado, at least here in Fort Collins. So, you know, I'm not too late in that. It's still March. Okay, here's the piece sampler that I told you I would show you. And you can see in there where some of the stitches are just missing to make it look a little more vintage and primitive. But, oh, so many pretty colors in there. I think that would be such a good housewarming gift for somebody. Let's see, I'll go down and show you. That's Mary Mary from Birds of a Feather. Oh, I shouldn't have started telling them because I'm not going to remember. Stitch Every Day by Hands On Design. This was 2 years ago, I think, the heart sampler from Heart and Hand. Winter Manor with Thy Needle and Thread. One of my very favorites, Christmas Quaker 2 by Bygone Stitches. Feast of Friendship on the top. Is that the Nantucket sampler? I always get that mixed up. Feast of Friendship is Blackbird and Nantucket is Brenda Keyes Sampler Company. Sampler maker is My Design. Abecedarian Schoolhouse Series by With Thy Needle and Thread. That one is a Blackbird, can't remember the name. G. Leger, Reflet de Soie. That one is a Scarlet House, can't remember the name. This one is Blue Flower. Erica Michaels with Plum Street. Shakespeare's Peddler. Barbara Anna. My Design. Am I going too fast? I'm trying to not shake the camera too much and also hold my hands above my head. That is a Modern Folk. GGR. Blackbird. La-di-da. Kathy Barrick. All right, and then we have our Wall of Thread. So that's DMC, Classic Colorworks Weeks, and Gentle Art. And then if I flip around this side, we have here a Versoix, also a Versoix here. On the other side is Gloriana MPIs. I'm going to do the aisles and then we can come back to all of the market things, because I know you've probably seen market things on different videos, so more so I just wanted to show you the shop. So we have all our fabrics here in bins. They are cut and serged in fat eighths, fat quarters, fat halves, and full yards. Then we have just some samples up here. This one is Preschooler, Blackbird, Blackbird, Lucy Beam, Silver Creek Sampler. The Santas are my design. Silver Creek Sampler, Plum Street, Blackbird, free pattern on our website by me. Blackbird, my design. Bent Creek, Barbara Anna. This is the piece that gave me the idea to do the green Birds of a Feather Santa, because I love how the red, oh, that washes out, shows up on the green. I think that's Plum Street, Annie Bees, Blackbird, Shepherd's Bush with my needle and thread. Okay, thank goodness I made it through that. All right, we have Blackbird back here. I'm just gonna walk the rows kind of quickly to show you things, but I'll stop if my attention gets pulled in by anything. So we have Homespun Elegance, Mojo Stitches, Heartsease, Exemplar Works. My gosh, those are just like, aren't those treasures? I want to do this one. That is Antrim's Folly. Oh, I love that. Spotted Cow with the fruit tree. Twin Peaks. Oh, this back of this has needlework press. Wishing Thorn. This is all of our miscellaneous samplery. Reflet de Soie, Red Barn samplers, Violets and Verses, Cross Stitch Antiques. And we organize everything by designer, and I really try to mostly have them visible, the covers visible. I keep getting them a little closer and closer together, but I really like to be able to see the patterns. How do you know what you want if you can't see the patterns? So we really try and maximize that. And we have something like Crochet A Go-Go where you can't really see into them, but you can see the titles, and people pull those out all the time. But what I didn't want to do is put crates of patterns in. First of all, because then people dig through the crates, but also it's just nice to see everything. All right, and then we have trims that need to be restocked. This is the next aisle. I'll go down one side, I guess. Teresa Kogut. There's so many of hers I want to do. I love all her books. Hello Spring, Hello Santa, Hello Halloween, Hello America. So many good ones. Blue Flower, I just think she really has a unique look about her designs. This is the one that I have up on the wall, Huckleberry Farm. What I love about this is, look, the little bear is weighing down the middle of the cartouche. And ink circles, JBW, Shannon Christine. Here's the back side of Versoix. Here's the gorgeous Glorianas. And we have Jan Hicks, Modern Folk, Ultimate Sampler, which looks like I need to order again. Getting low on those. And Annie Bees, Little Robin, Running with Needles and Scissors, Madame Chantilly, back side of those. Oh, I love this Anne Anthony. Isn't that Red House gorgeous? Oh, I love that one. This is another one I think would be cool on my Sunday school wall, but do I want to do all that writing? I don't think so. Betsy Davis is fun too. Okay. Gosh, do you ever walk through a cross-stitch store and you think, it's just everything. I want to do everything. That's how I'm feeling. All right, flip. Here we have still some of the kits for, looks like just 4 kits left of Quaker Christmas that I showed you up on the wall. I know it's hard to see everything because I'm not scanning top to bottom, but Jeanette Douglas, Erica Michaels, Silver Creek. And I don't know where I'm going to put all of these new patterns from Market. I'm going to have to condense a little bit. Plum Street, one of my favorites. Look, there's a little room. I know the CCS elves went through and condensed a little bit while we were off at Market, because I said we're going to have to fit them in. Pineberry Lane, Queen Bee. Look at that's a pretty one. Well, I love this one too, the little bee. Stacy Nash. This is one of my favorites that I did. That's up on the wall over there, I'll show you. All the way down to the bottom. I know we really do maximize our space, but Archie Housewife is another one that has such a unique look, and her patterns are just fun. I have started, we must be out of stock, the one I started. No, this one, Abalonia's Apple Tree. Love that one. Artful Offerings. Lots of fun ones in there. With Thy Needle and Thread, another one of my absolute favorite designers. We have another order in with her to fill in all those spots. Okay, then on this wall we have Hands Across the Sea, GGR, Joan Elliott, but first I'll show you these. So that is a Silver Creek sampler, Little House Needleworks, oh, La-Di-Da, I think, Modern Folk, Blackbird. This is one of my favorites. I changed the colors to be a little brighter and I did it over 1 on 25 count. So small, also Blackbird. And another, is that Little House or is that Country Cottage? These two, the villages, this one and that gingerbread one up there, I purchased from a shop that was out of business, and I just love those because the shop owner was a friend of mine. And up here we have Tetelestai, and this is a Blackbird. Carolyn Manning, I think. There's that Turkey Hollow Farm that I love. Hands Across the Sea, Prairie Schooler, Plum Street, love that one. Oh, what is this one? Hang on, it's right here. Let me run over. Corey Batacore. There's my Prairie Schooler Santa that I did on 7 count, I think, to make it big. That is a Plum Street, Needlework Press, Joan Elliott, Leela's Studio. That was stitched by Kim, one of our Stitch Night friends. She's letting me borrow that for display for a little bit. Hands Across the Sea, Modern Folk. Lots more space that I need to fill in. I can only stitch so fast. All right, And we have Scarlet House. She's got so many pretty samplers, doesn't she? Samplers Not Forgotten, Layla's Studio. I am so excited to do the new Leela Studio Peace on Earth. This is Sampler Company, which is over on the table. I'll show you in a second. We have Sulky. Sulky comes in a spool. Let's see. There. That's how thick it is. So I find it perfect 1 strand, 36 count or 18 count. I love it. Sweet Wing Studio by the Bay. Quaint Rose Needle Arts. They have some fun ones. This is one I really want to do, this cute penguin. Love him. I also like this one too. Even if I just did the bottom of that one, that would be fun. October House. I got to do some more of her rows. This one, Itch to Stitch. I did the tomato row. Hands on Design. She's the queen of doing things in series. So that's kind of fun. There's that Stitch Every Day that I have on the wall over there. Lucy Beam. I did this Tomato Tavern. Love it. Country Garden. I guess they're not doing a series this year. They did the house series. This is the house series. They did the animals. So I haven't heard of any. Luminous Fiber Arts. Misty always has cute vintage looking things. La-di-da. Okay, this is one I want to do. Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black, black, with silver buttons, buttons, all down her back. But why I want to do it because I love her hair. She's got the crazy hair going on. Also like this one, because that's some hips going on there. And this one I also have in my stash. Love that. Chessie and Me. I haven't done many of hers, but I love all of them. And a lot of them have a cat, so of course I love them. Samplers and Primitives. Some Bent Creek. Emily Call. Got a few. Stitching with the Housewives. All right. And then one last row, Barbara Anna. Which I don't know that there's a Barbara Anna that I don't like. She's another one. Unique things that just look fun to stitch, don't they? Like this Portuguese bird, like that. And here's that Christmas Joy that I did on green fabric. I saw that on green somewhere. Okay, I love this one, Christmas City. Look at that tree going up the middle. The colors are beautiful, but I might do a more redsy greensy, I don't know. Okay, saw this done this week. So when I was in Las Vegas, I went and visited Stitcher's Paradise, which is a great shop if you're in the Vegas area, and they had this one done and it looks so pretty. And that one I did, All Creatures. Anyway, unique stuff. These, I'd love to do all of these. Look at her wild hair. I don't know why I like the wild hair. My hair is not wild like that. My hair's straight as a board. Maybe that's why I think it's so fun. But she has several of the girls. And then Carriage House, Kathy Barrick. Oh, I missed the Liz Matthews over here. Okay, Prairie Schooler. We used to have a lot of Prairie Schooler because you know what? Prairie Schooler is timeless. It's just timeless. You know, this was done how long ago? And it's still just as adorable and relevant as it was the day she designed that. All right, we still have some cardboard copies of some of the past ones, which if you like collecting those, was always fun to get. And then up here we have Long Dog samplers. Time to reorder. Historische Stickmuster from Germany. All right, little cabinet. Tra-la-la. You know, they have some really cute holiday ones. Look at that little Santa. That's sheep. I don't know. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. Look at Uncle Sam and Betsy Ross. This one, that's cute. And then Cory Betta also adorable. Like, look at all these cute littles. You could stitch each one of those individually for your grandkids. And like things like this, where they do the boxes. Let's see if there's another sample. Yeah, here. Each one of those boxes would be a really cute small pillow to put together into a dough bowl. Not Forgotten Farm. This is the one that I did and put on a ruler last fall. Love it. This is one in my bag to be done. Pansy Patch. Shepherd's Bush. Heartstring Samplery. And Scattered Seed Samplers. Another person who just has the cutest littles, you know? Like none of them are huge. Well, I guess she has, oh, that's pretty. Look at those reds. She has a couple of samplers, but a lot of them are just really cute smalls. This is the one that I used for my stitching mat. Okay, swinging you around, hold on. And now we'll just look quick at the table of market. Look, those are DMCs waiting to be put up. Those are baskets of fabrics that Bonnie got done today that I need to put up. My gosh, she has so many fabrics to go through for market. These are my favorite retro stickers. I love these guys. More littles. Again, I don't know, most days feel like spring, but it's gonna come back and bite us. Here are the flower threads. Flower threads are good for 32 count. I used them on 36 count. They'd be good on 16 count. So they're just kind of pretty soft, subtle colors. All right, so let's kind of just go and look at some of the different things from market. We are sold out of some of the things, but more on order. I thought this was cool, the Bristol pattern page. Used to have little booklets of their patterns. So this is, you know, patterns from the little pattern booklet. These vintage ABCs by Jen Hicks. Those are super fun. She put them out separately and then she did this all together one and kind of expanded on it a little bit, which is fun. I also think that one's cool. This came out during COVID to people who had signed up to be at their retreat and then they had to cancel due to COVID, so they sent this little kit to those of us who had already put down a deposit, and I stitched that up, I think, in a night, and I've had it framed in our house and I love it. Love it, love it. Okay, here's one of the ones from market that was one of my favorites because I love the colors. It's very Christmassy color wise, but very spring feeling with the blooming trees and bushes. And of course I love that house. So that's on my list. This is all the cookbooks we have left. So be sure and get yours if you want one. And the cookbooks. I mean, there are so many free patterns in there. So many good ones. I had the pattern that I contributed is behind me in the video, hanging on the doorknob of that little white cabinet behind me. All right, little luminous fiber arts. Okay, this one. This one I want to start like now. Look at that, because you know I love the Quaker, But look at the little village and the little ice skaters. And that horse with his decorative blanket bringing home the Christmas tree. And the partridge in the pear tree and the cardinal. Oh, I love that one so much. Shakespeare's Peddler. We got more Nativity Tiny Towns in, which I am totally doing. That's the first tiny town I'm gonna do. I need to start taking my patterns from Market. Okay, these I love, and I'm totally gonna do those all in a row. The new ones from Brenda Gervais, Spring Trio, Summer Trio. I can just see that all as a long lineup. And then these kind of match the Christmas one. Liberty, the Earth. Well, that's not good lighting. Laughs. Then we have, whoops, gotta go this way. Needlework Press. Get that silly donkey. This is the cutting table where Bonnie does all her cutting, and Sergio, our big serger guy. Around the table, almost done. All right, Blueberry Ridge, Rosewood Manor, some Teresa Kogets, but we got more, either we got more in or they shipped more. We've gotten one order. I think we have two though, and coming. Running with Needles and Scissors. Stitcher's Journal from Stacy Nash, new this year. I shouldn't be showing the patterns, but that's kind of what it looks like. And that Rose Hill Farm, that's pretty, isn't it? I like that border. It's almost like a candy cane border. That's fun. Silver Creek. I have to do Lily. Lily the Frog. Satsuma. I tell you what, her booth at Market is just so colorful and vibrant and uplifting, and as you would imagine with her patterns. It's just fun, always fun to visit her. Annie B's, Heartstring. This one I think is really pretty, and I think she thought she suggested you could use that as a stitching mat, as a base of a stitching mat, which I thought would be a good idea. This is another, oh, well, I gotta order more of those. This is another one that I love. The strawberries. Okay, we'll get more. Ladybug Picnic. Okay, isn't this a beautiful book? I just took it home and read the whole thing cover to cover. It's got beautiful patterns, but it's got beautiful older photos and history, and oh, it's just so pretty. Artsy Housewife, this one is my favorite, Bun Bun. Gosh, she has such realistic looking animals. Two new ones from Blackbird. Let's see, 3 projects. I'm gonna see if I can find, hang on, I'm gonna see. They came from this antique sampler. Let's see if I can find the stretched out version without showing you the pattern. Isn't that pretty? That's this rolled up, but I think I would just stitch it long like that. Love that. And then this one, Gifts of the Season, comes from this pretty old. I would like to stitch that actually. Blue Flower, October House, Sweet Wing, Ink Circles, Erica Michaels, Lucy Beam, Kathy Barrick. This one I cannot wait to do because I'm already working on the Christmas one. So I'm gonna make myself finish the Christmas one first. And I'm doing the long version. She gives you the pattern for both the long and the stocking. I'm gonna do 2 longs because won't they look cool set, you know, hanging next to each other? Hello from Liz Matthews, Jeanette Douglas. Here on the back side, Little House Needleworks, Country Cottage. Some more kits for Birds of a Feather. The little notes that you guys keep ordering, which are super fun. All right, I think that's everything. So that is the most current tour of the shop. Maybe it'll be 2 years before I do another tour, who knows? So in the meantime, you guys just need to come visit us because it's way more fun to be here in person anyway. To see all the things, to have a good chat with us, to get inspired by some models, hopefully, to have a sit and a coffee. And there you go. All right, thanks for joining me, and I will see you on my next FlossTube. Also, don't forget to use the word pet in your comment to be entered for the drawing, and leave me comments because I love reading them and interacting with you guys in the comments. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.